Alright, we have something a little different today. This is a piece of Sequoia. My sister-in-law's neighbor had one cut down about a year ago, and they offered me some of the wood. It was probably between 5 and 6 foot in diameter where they had cut it off. What I'm interested in is this color, because looking at the pieces they had laying there, they were beautiful. I didn't really want to take a lot of it because it's really dusty sanding redwood type woods and cedar. But I took a few pieces. I wished I would have taken a bigger one now so I could have got more of this color. So I'm going to take and cut this down a little bit so I can try to get mostly that color into it. This is about 7.5 by 8 right now. And I want to make a kind of a vase shaped vessel out of it. So let me get it trimmed a little bit, mounted, and let's see if we can make something pretty out of this. So I've got it mounted on a worm screw, and I have my tailstock up against it, getting around 700, 800 RPMs. I'm going to take a roughing gouge and just try to true it up a little more. I'm going to switch to my 5/8 bowl gouge and see if it cuts a little better. Okay, I'm gonna shorten this a little bit here and figure on this, maybe right about here being the base. Oh, and the doctor ordered me to get a new turning tool, so I got a new parting tool. I just switched to a 40/40 grind. I'm going to go ahead and part some of this off. Alright, I want to cut a little bit more until I get some more of that heartwood, and it's getting close to showing up. I'm going to switch to my 1/2 inch swept back bowl gouge. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and mark for a tenon. Okay, I should be able to see that. Yep. So now, we'll cut that down. We get this squared up and flat. Okay, that should do it. We'll go ahead and get this mounted in the chuck and flipped around. Well, I took a little break and I came back and I looked at this and was getting ready to flip it, but I really think I need to do a little more shaping here first. About 1100 RPMs. Alright, I'll just go over this with 80 grit for now, and it'll be easy enough to sand from the other side. Yeah, I think that's going to be pretty. Alright, I think that's enough. I'm going to get it flipped around. Flipped around in the chuck now, and I was looking at the possibilities of hollowing this, but then I thought, well, if I do, my wife's going to have to put dry flowers in it. So I came up with the idea of using this little bottle, plastic bottle. I'll drill a hole, and I can get really close to the bottom and have an opening here to put some water and flowers in it. So that's what I'm going to do. Alright, I have the hole drilled within a ½ inch of the bottom, and I just want to flare the opening a little bit and then maybe around the corners. That's plenty good, and then round this corner a little bit. I think I'll go ahead and try to hollow some of this out, because I can reach it pretty well. Can't really see. I can see this way. Maybe I'll run it in reverse for a little while and get some more out. The only sanding I've done on this outside was with a 2-inch disc and 80 grit. I'm going to go ahead and finish sanding it out, and I'm going to sand it with just sheets of paper. I'm going to start with 120 and work my way up to probably 400, and then we're going to put a finish on it. And honestly, I'm not sure what it's going to be. I'm going to let the color of this wood help me decide what type of finish to put on it. Because right now, that is, I think, the most important part of this. It just has so much going on. Until I get a finish on it, I'm not quite sure what it's going to look like. And that's looking good here, so I'll finish sanding it, and I'll do it just like what you saw here, and I'll be right back. I've decided to go ahead and use shellac on this. I'm going to start with the shellac based sanding sealer. I think that's going to look really nice on there. Yeah, I really like that right through here. I think it's going to be real pretty. Soaking it in, I'm going to get at least 2 coats of sanding sealer on it, and then I'll get the shellac on it. And it won't really look any different than what I'm doing now. Okay, I'm going to get a couple more coats on, just because it's soaking it in so much, and then I'll get the shellac on it. So I'll see you in a bit. Alright, it's time to remove the tenon. I have this piece of wood in my chuck and I've turned it round. It's long enough to hit the bottom. Some padded material here and a padded material in the bottom of the turning. Let's see how it runs. It's not the best, but I think that's what I'm going to have to use. Alright, let me grab a gouge. Alright, let's start out with the 1/2 inch. Get rid of most of it. Alright, that's close enough. I can sand the rest of that off. Well, here it is. The little Sequoia vase. And look at the grain in this. It's amazing. So rich colored. I really like that there with these 2 knots. And there's a knot here, and I think there's one more knot right there. It's really pretty. It finished 6 inches tall. It's 2 7/8 at the top. It's 3.5 inches here at the widest point, and the base is almost 3 inches. The walls are about 1/4 inch until I get to the very bottom, and maybe they're a half down there. Right here, it's about 3/32 of a wall. I kept trying to fit the plastic bottle in there, and I didn't want to cut anymore, so I found a little glass container that spice was in, and that fits in there perfect. I used 3 coats of shellac-based sanding sealer and 3 coats of shellac, and I used Scotch-Brite in between each coat. And on the final finish, I found a worn-out piece of Scotch-Brite, and I buffed it out with that, and it actually has a nice shine, but I didn't want it real glossy. Pretty happy with how it turned out. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment, I read them all. Hit the notification bell so you'll know when I have a new one out. It would also be great if you could share my videos around. Thanks to all of you who are subscribed to my channel. It means a lot to me. If you're not subscribed, consider doing so. I do many types of turnings, from segmented work to natural turnings from pieces of trees, and I put out videos weekly. Thanks again. Until the next time, see you later.